Well, this has been a very interesting transfer window we've had this summer. Without actually rebuilding the entire squad, it feels like we've added to the squad depth overall. But we will be seeing just how good this squad is at the beginning of this season, because my oh my, has the Premier League done us dirty a little bit. Hello and welcome back to Unemployed to Legend, Club 4, Episode 10 with Liverpool. My name is Craig, and coming up on today's episode we have all the transfers from the summer just gone, as well as the first game of the season, not in the Premier League but in the Community Shield. Yes, I do acknowledge it is a pre-season trophy at best, but it's a chance just to see how this squad will do against a formidable opponent in Tottenham. Now, since you're last with me, of course, we've done a lot of the summer transfers. And quite frankly, like I mentioned in the intro, there hasn't been what you would call massive changes to the squad. If anything, it's just been trying to sort out all the players who are kind of on the fringes of the squad, so we've been trying to shift them out as much as possible. So I think it is worth just going through all the players who have gone out first. So first name that was out the door, a player who kind of fell off towards the end of last season, is Curtis Jones. We sold him on to Chelsea, the 30-year-old English, central midfielder slash winger. We played him at central midfield, obviously, after changing to that narrow formation. Sold him on for £38 million. Now, I was kind of hoping he wouldn't go to a Premier League side, but in the end he chose them, and I just wanted to get him off the books. I know he's a homegrown player. He is one of Liverpool's own, even from real life, but he wasn't going to play regularly. I think he was just going to be a bit part player who I think we could improve on. And for a 30-year-old, £38 million is not to be sniffed at. So if he has a subpar season at Chelsea, I'll feel a lot better. Another player who actually went. Now, this guy I didn't even know existed until the notification went through. Apparently, he was out on loan last season, was Noel Aseko Nkili. He went to West Ham for £51 million. Apparently, that was already arranged since last summer. He spent a whole season on loan at West Ham. No idea, but £51 million definitely came in handy. About 26 of that was up front. So just a quick mention, the fact that we did get a lot of money for someone who I didn't even know existed. Another player who I didn't know existed is a wonder kid by the name of Yakuba Payne, or Barney. I don't know if that accent on the E makes much of a difference. 20-year-old Belgian winger. We do not use wingers. That is why I sold him on. £41 million to Inter Milan. He spent the entirety last season on loan in Mexico at Cruz Azul. Had a good season there. Inter wanted to pay £41 million. Absolutely fine. Yeah, he's a wonder kid. But if we don't use wingers, what's the point of holding on to someone who was effectively on, I think, 20-30k a week and was generating us good money for just selling him on? So wish you luck, Bain or Barney. Samuel Suarez has also left, our backup goalkeeper from last season, 29-year-old Portuguese, former under-21 international. He was swapping with Dennis Simon at the beginning of last season, but then he just kind of fell out of the team as I preferred Dennis Simon. And we managed to generate some decent money for him. I do still feel we overpaid. £29.5 million was the full cost. I don't know how much of that we'll still be paying. But for £24 million, we got some good money for him. So we've made something back on him. He's gone to Borussia Mönchengladbach in the Bundesliga. Wishing him the best of luck. We did replace him with another goalkeeper, which we will come to very soon. Ko Yoon-sik, 22-year-old South Korean left back. Yes, very pacey, but he was just injury prone. He kept getting small little injuries last season. I just wanted rid of him. We brought him back from loan at Celtic, and he never played in the second half of last season. £24 million for someone who Liverpool bought for £1.4 million. That's good business. So wish him the best of luck. He just wasn't going to feature. End of story. Ibrahima Konate, the man who wanted to play in the Champions League this season. Well, he will be, just for a different club, because we managed to get close to £20 million. In fact, we will get £20 million for a player who's 32 years old. He's gone to Monaco in France. And yeah, I could have kept him in the squad for this season as an anchor, probably behind Marcus Stingel, but for someone who's 32 years old, getting £20 million for him, Just feels like a no-brainer. We've also replaced him with a player who we'll go through in a few moments. Andre Albert is a player I bought in for free in January. He's gone out on loan again to Derby this time. He did get a work permit, which is good, but he's someone who we could probably farm out for loan and then eventually for a little bit of money, potentially £20 million, give or take. Joel De Alessandro, fringe player from last season who we actually sent out on loan to Lorient in France. He's now gone to Shakhtar Donetsk for £17.75 million. All cash up front. Thank you very much. Ironically enough, Shakhtar slapped a minimum fee release clause of £35.5 million on him. Bless them. If he performs well for them, fair enough, but I wouldn't pay £35.5 million for this guy. Absolutely not. Good deal overall for him. In fact, how much did Liverpool buy him for? £5.5 million. Definitely good business. And finally, this just happened literally before I pressed record. Ant Farley has gone out on loan to AC Milan. I was toying with whether to sell him or not, but I can't bring myself to kind of get rid of him permanently. So we're going to send him out on loan for the whole season. If he does well, we can bring him back next summer. If not, then we'll sell him on. Not a problem. He's worth 24 to 30 million pounds. I mean, we can get some decent money for him. He's a former England international as well. I actually completely forgot about that. But we'll see how he does in Serie A for AC Milan. Now, as far as players go that came in, not that many. You've probably seen some of the prices already of some of these players who have come in, but we're going to go through them anyway. We've ended up bringing in about 7 players so far. First up is Nahuel Diaz, 22-year-old Argentinian defender, can play across the back four, 2.5-star accountability, 3-star potential. He's someone who is a squad player. He fills it out a little bit for us at the back, which is perfect for when we need to play our cup games in the Champions League as well, etc. We've actually arranged this transfer last season. He comes in from Racing Club in Argentina. He has also already picked up an injury. He's out with a twisted ankle for up to 2 weeks. Of course he is. Physically he's very good, except when it comes to twisting his ankle. Fantastic. Next up on the list is a young goalkeeper actually in Magomed Yuran, 18-year-old Ukrainian under-21 international, 2-star accountability, 4-star potential. Actually he had 5 stars originally. It's saying 5 star. It's just behind my head, but it's still saying 5-star potential, so I don't know what to believe. But he's someone who we're going to try and develop, and hopefully he'll turn into a very good goalkeeper. I mean, he's currently championship standards, but he's got some of the basics down already, technical wise, physically. Mentals will improve over time, and I do believe he will play for the Ukrainian national team. We bought him in for £20 million from Shakhtar Donetsk, them again. So I think he will play some games for us, especially in the cups. I probably did overpay at £20 million for him. 24.5 million, it'll rise to. Whoops. But if he develops into an international goalkeeper who ends up becoming at least a full backup for us, I think we'll be absolutely fine. I'm not too worried about Yuran. We'll see how it develops over the season. Next up is a player who we bought in from relegated Fulham, Levi Colwill. 28-year-old English centre-back / left-back. Again, versatility at the back. 2.5-star accountability and nothing more in potential. Leading Sky Bet Championship player. He is another one who is a backup in defence. And because he can play left-back, across 2 positions, he should be seeing some game time. £4.6 million, which was his relegation release clause. Not too bad. Homegrown player as well. He helps us meet the registration requirements for the Premier League and I think the Champions League as well. So happy days. Happy to get in a cheap English player. Avoid that stupid English player tax. Cesare Sestari, a 18-year-old Italian wonder kid. He is a central midfielder / playmaker. 2.5-star accountability, 5-star potential. Leading Sky Bet Championship, but he will see game time this season. I think he will develop very well. Ignore the red arrows. He's just not training that well at the moment for whatever reason, but I think that'll pick up over the season. Played 1 game in Serie A for Inter Milan. That's all I need to know. Consistent performer, mentally tough and quite resilient. And of course, yeah, he's a resilient personality. That's fine. Also, did I mention he's a wonder kid? because Liverpool need wonder kids. So he'll see some game time as a central midfielder and an attacking midfielder. I just realised he can play further forward, but we've already got the likes of Migliorini, CDK and Louis Anderson, which is fine. But again, versatility in terms of positions, that's what we need. Right, just 3 more players, and we did bring in an actual goalkeeper who will be seeing a lot more game time. As the first choice keeper, Marcel Lotka, 30-year-old German, not capped at any level, interestingly. But he's coming in as the first choice goalkeeper, 3-star current ability, nothing more in potential. He comes in as a regular from Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga, £10.5 million, rising to £13.5 million. Roughly the same price as Dennis Simon, who ironically is also German, so I don't know if German keepers are just very, very cheap, but they can also be very, very good. He's done the rounds in Germany and Spain and even in France. Why does everybody go through France and Scotland? That's fantastic. He was actually at Lyon when I was there at Lens, so I would have probably seen him, just wouldn't have paid attention to him because obviously we were trying to beat him. But he's certainly a very good goalkeeper. Technically, physically he's good as well. Mentally is what I'm looking for, especially in a goalkeeper. His eccentricity is very high. We're going to have to keep an eye on that, but that's why he's a sweeper keeper on defend. Maro Katinic, a 27-year-old Croatian international, centre-back and defensive midfielder and right-back. He is the replacement for Ibrahima Konate. 3-star current ability, nothing more in potential. He'll come in and play effectively behind Marcus Stingel as an anchor as and when needed. We bring him in, £48 million, rising to £51 million from Aston Villa. So he's been a regular in the Premier League, so I'm not concerned with him not actually knowing how to handle himself in the Premier League. Also fluent in English. Very, very important, especially as we're trying to get in experienced players as well as a few youngsters to help us out in our bid to win the Champions League. And now, the final signing we've brought in so far, you've probably seen the price already. This happened literally just before I pressed record as well. Muhammad Simanjuntak, 25-year-old Indonesian international from Tottenham, central midfielder, right back and left back. The 3 positions I've been trying to fill for practically most of the summer. He comes in for a stonking £129 million, rising to £147 million. He comes in again from Tottenham. We seem to be just raiding Tottenham for players. I don't know why. He started his career at PSV before moving over to Tottenham just last summer. In fact, yeah, it was last summer. Played very well in the Premier League last season. He was a regular. 8 assists in 34 appearances in the league. Overall, 9 assists and 2 goals in 41 appearances. That says to me this man he has the vision, which, yep, clearly he does. He's very good physically, mentally, very well rounded, technically very good. He just adds to the players such as the likes of Axel Ferrer, Adam Wharton and Romeo Lavia. But he won't always be playing central midfield. As you can see, he's a natural at right back, which we do need because we've picked up a few injuries in pre-season. Guillermo Amaral is out for up to 3 months with a broken foot, and he was going to be one of my starting right backs. So definitely we've brought in a player who will actually be filling in for him for the first part of the season. Now, Gil Diaz, I've already said he's out with a twisted ankle. Ferrer's back in a week, as is Charlie Ross, who has picked up a stubbed toe. So I don't know why he needs a week out for that, but whatever. Hopefully we'll see him for the first game of the league season. If not, then the Super Cup final against Barcelona. Both of those matches will be the very next episode. But for today, we are going to be focusing on the first, I say proper match, it's still technically as well a pre-season match against Tottenham in the Community Shield. And this is the first 11 that we are going to be sending out. So it's Marcel Lotka in goal. He has displaced Dennis Simon, at least just for the start of the season. We shall see how Lotka performs. Silva, Saravia, Becerra and Alexander-Arnold are the back 4 with Stingel ahead of them in the deep line playmaker role. Adam Wharton and Lavia are the 2 central midfielders with CDK in attacking midfield. Louis Carlos and Tobar are the 2 strikers up front, as you were from the end of last season. Obviously just one different player from the end of the season, and that is of course our goalkeeper in Lotka. Like I said in the intro, not too much change in terms of the starting 11. It's more behind the starting 11, just getting that squad depth going, because we are going to need that if we are going to challenge not only in the Premier League but also in the Champions League as well. And that is why we have reached literally just one big purchase. That's one thing I haven't actually shown, is the finances at the club, where for about half the summer I've had about over £100 million in the transfer budget, and I just didn't know where to spend it, because I wasn't willing to spend massively on a player who wouldn't massively improve the squad, at least until our Indonesian superstar decided to rock up, as CDK is through here, and CDK has scored the first goal of the season. I thought he was actually going to square that or have the shot blocked, but he has just put that in the back of the net. That's the one criticism I had of him last season. I wanted him to have more shots than he was actually having. And with this first shot of the season, in fact it's only just been a minute of the game, with his first shot of the season, he bags us a goal. Happy days. I have noticed a couple of our players are very tired. Lavia, what are you doing? My goodness, Becerra with a great tackle. Lavia is booked and he's literally just throwing tackles out like that. Please be careful, man. But some of our players are tired because they did play a friendly in midweek, which was actually the testimonial for Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's been here for way longer than 10 years, but obviously the save has only been going on for about 10 years, so that's why it's only just recognised he actually needs a testimonial. So he's only had that a few days before against Ajax, who we absolutely slapped 6-0. And it's also worth noting a couple of other friendlies we've had this summer. One of them was against Barcelona, who we slapped 7-2 as Stingel rocks the bar with that header. But I saw that score, and I know it's pre-season, take it with a pinch of salt, even in real life. But to beat Barcelona 7-2 is a little bit special. And we will be facing them in the next episode, because we got the Super Cup final, which will be a good indicator, I feel, of how we're going to fare in Europe this season. What is going on there? That's not the keeper's fault. That was whoever that defender was, because we just lost the ball. Who was that? Show yourself. So Becerra with the ball. What are you doing, Alexander-Arnold? This is why I don't want him starting at right back. Amaral would have started ahead of him, but he's obviously broken his foot. That is completely 100% TAA's fault. 100%. Oh, lovely ball over. Luis Carlos. He's a bit out wide, but he's got a couple of players in the middle. Wharton. I was going to say go for the header, but for some reason we have absolutely nobody on the edge of the area. As Tottenham attacking down our right-hand side. Again, that's Trent Alexander-Arnold. Oh my god, Lavia. He might have to come off at half-time. We do have options, to be fair, on the bench, so I'm going to see if we can just be using them. Alright, thank you. Just please pass the ball around. Don't play around with it at the back. Tobar. Tobar. I know he's a deep line forward, but I'd rather he be ahead. Oh, beautifully won by... Oh my god, well won there by CDK and Luis Carlos with an audacious effort. That's just ended up in the back of the net. It's 2-1 just before half-time. I was wondering where this highlight was going, but luckily CDK wins the ball there. First time pass to Luis Carlos, and oh god, he's almost at the edge of the penalty area and he's just lofted that over the keeper. That was disgusting. Listen, if it's Luis Carlos versus Charlie Ross for the starting position of advanced forward, well, we're in a good position. Right, we're halfway there. Let's make sure our name's on the trophy. Yeah, why not? Let's see if we can finish this off and hopefully get ourselves a nice little trophy to start the season. I know, again, I've said it's a pre-season trophy, but it would just be nice to win it. I've completely forgotten to take Lavia off. Samuel Vicky is going to come on. He's going to have himself less than 45 minutes. Gosh, actually, how tired was Lavia? You can't see it, it's just behind my head, but he's in the red already. TAA is also in the red. You know what? Paul Williams is actually going to get some game time. We do have Suman Juntak on the bench, but he's just come back from a hernia injury, so he can only have a maximum of 45 minutes. And I'd rather give him, like, say, the last 10-15 minutes just to start getting his match fitness up just a little bit. CDK with the free kick. Bit far out. It is just... No, it wasn't just wide, it was actually saved. So here's a corner to us. Adam Wharton about to take it. Aim for the big man. Keeper just about came out and punched that, and now Tottenham are on the counter-attack. We do have 2 back at the moment. Take advantage of the numbers. Thank you very much. We had about 4 or 5 players there who should have dealt with that very comfortably, and luckily they did. Becerra into Ricky. I think Tottenham are playing with a back 7, and Carlos is through here. Oh, you should have put that the other side of the keeper, man. We are going to make a few changes very soon. Silva is on a yellow card, so Shimantuk will probably come on left back. I'm going to have to get used to saying his name. I still can't say it properly. And I think with, I'd say 70 minutes left. No, it's been 70 minutes gone. Silva is going to come off. Shimanjuntak is going to come on. Let's see what he can do at left back. He's 4-star left back as it is. That's fantastic. What is he at right back? 4.5. Nice. I mean, Paul Williams can actually play left back, to be fair, as well. So nice versatility in defence. Let's have a look. Maro Katinic is going to come on. He's going to go into that anchor role. Bit like what we did with Konate last season. That's why he's the replacement. We're going to save the final substitution for, I think, the last 10 minutes or so. And with 8 minutes to go, we will make that final substitution now. So who is actually looking tired? Adam Wharton is. So Sestari? Yeah, let's see what Sestari can do. Ricky can go in that box-to-box midfield role. Sestari as the central midfielder on attack. We'll just drop to balance a little bit. Just try and keep it as tight as possible. Becerra, you're making me nervous. Ricky. Pass, thank you. Oh, okay, Tottenham are starting to press just a little bit harder now. And thankfully Shimanjuntak, sorry, sweeping up there. God, we're pinging the ball around well, but please just do it in a way that's far, far away from our own goal, as Luis Carlos just wastes another opportunity. We are going to lower the tempo just a little bit. We're going to start wasting that time down. CDK with the free kick, and it is absolutely nowhere near. And unfortunately, Tottenham are just going to keep coming at us now. They're counter-attacking us. Drop back the line of engagement a little bit because we are just a little bit exposed, I feel, in midfield as CDK tries to go for the tackle. We eventually do win the ball, but it took a lot longer than I thought to get there. Toba holding it up nicely. Katinic into CDK. Passing around well, looking for an opening. No, Shimanjuntak. Oh, it's his first shot. Imagine if he got his first goal. That would have been an amazing 20-minute debut. And Saravia trying to cover down the left-hand side, and it is well blocked. Who is that? Katinic. Doing what he was supposed to be doing, and it is a late corner for Tottenham, but Lotka comes out and collects. He is a very tall goalkeeper. He is someone who is very comfortable, apparently, at coming out and claiming those balls. So absolutely fine. That's what he should be doing. We have held on against Tottenham, and we have claimed a piece of silverware to start the season. It's the Community Shield, but it adds to the club's history. It adds to my legacy as well, which is exactly what we're here for. Fantastic stuff. Well done to start the season, Liverpool, and hopefully that's a nice little taster of what's going to come. Again, season aims, challenge for the Champions League. We win it this season, I'm going to be a very, very happy man. I feel we have built a squad that can challenge for the Champions League as we lift the Community Shield, our first trophy of the season. We've got that winner's mentality, that winner's taste for bigger trophies. And thus we are celebrating around Wembley to start the season. Don't celebrate too hard, guys. We've got Manchester United at the start of the season next week. Good grief, the Premier League are completely brutal to us sometimes. And there it is, Liverpool win the Community Shield. Medals as well for everybody in the actual... Is it actually the substitutes as well, in the reserves? Actually, yeah, because Borja wasn't even in the squad, but he gets a medal as well. Fantastic stuff to start the season. And now we start the next episode away against Manchester United and also against Barcelona in the Super Cup. We're going to see just how well we can go up against the big guns, and which will give us a good idea of how we'll do in the Champions League this season. That will be coming up on Friday's episode. If you have enjoyed today's episode, make sure you hit the like button down below and smash the big red subscribe button so you don't miss our push for further European glory. Champions League is the big aim, as well as the Premier League, obviously. It's our bread and butter. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you all for your support on the series so far, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode.